You know, you get three numbers again, and we finally, you know, these are engineers, we finally figured out it was going to be like 89 years, you know. And little did we know that 12-12-12 would be an incredible day that really will be remembered forever in Cleveland, Ohio. And that's thanks to the Department of Energy awarding LEEDCo the grant for the first phase. And the really cool thing about it is that I get to stand up here and talk and be the face of LEEDCo, but the people who made this happen, it's an amazing group. And I would just like to recognize, and hopefully I won't forget anybody, but you know, this goes back quite a ways to about 2004. And when you think about the involvement of different people, you go back, you have the Cleveland Foundation, the Generation Foundation, the Port Authority, CASE, Cuyahoga County, the different groups that started off early on, and Nortec. So, and when you find out who is LEEDCo, LEEDCo is the counties and the city of Cleveland. So I want to thank Cuyahoga County, Ed Fitzgerald, Bill Mason, Steve Dever, who were there from the beginning, Lake County, Bob Alfeldish, Commissioner John Loftus, who was head of the ports until, I don't know, until he's really retired. We have Ashtabula County and Dan Claypool, Lorain County, Ted Kalo and Mike Challenger, City of Cleveland, the mayor, Janita McGowan, Andrew Watterson, a lot of people who have been part of this. Go to Nortec, Rebecca Bagley and Dave Karpinski and Karen Allport, who have been there since my first day. Cleveland Foundation that really had a great piece in the New York Times over the weekend, if anybody saw that, about their history, so I learned a few things. But, you know, Ron and Shilpa and Sylvia have been really behind us, supporting us. And, you know, those are the efforts of many of the Clevelanders. I can't forget Richard Stubbe, who really helped hatch this harebrained idea that we're embarking on here, which isn't really so harebrained. It's just a lot of that kind of support that brings us here today. And as we go forward, our mission has been to get people who have done this before from Europe, and then take that experience and marry it with the companies and the teams and the research who can then bring this project forward. Because we have the skill sets, we have the companies that know how to do this in different ways and different disciplines. And so we bring that with the international companies who do this every single day. And that's how we're going to succeed. I also want to recognize the representation we've had at the federal level. Ben Schaefer is here from Betty Sutton's office, and Beth Thames is here from Sherrod Brown's office. One of the things that was, I think, important in our collaboration is that both senators and all of the representatives supported this project, so we truly had bipartisan support. We've had some real leadership from that group. And, you know, it's all of these things. You know, when I coach swimming, I used to say, you can never do enough to win. And we've looked at this as if we could never do enough. We could never have enough people supporting us. And it's amazing we got to this point. I mean, really not so amazing. And finally, I'd like to thank the LEEDCo staff, Courtney, Carolyn, and Eric, our newbie, Donnie Davis, who actually just moved across the hall to Allegro Realty. But there's been a lot of people who have made this happen. And we have our volunteer Garfield, who's here, who's been a great help. And my list. Oh, Nick Turner from Marcy Captain. Oh, you snuck in on me. Okay. All right. I hope I got everybody. There's just tons of people who helped. A little bit about the award, and then I'll turn it over to Ron. The award is a 12-month award of $4 million plus $1 million of private cost share brought to us by our industrial and university partners. What are we going to do with that money? Well, I can't list all the tasks, but basically we need to do what's called a front-end engineering design, and that allows you to walk away saying the project is going to cost X plus or minus 10%. So you do the engineering, you develop the costing, you get quotes from vendors, and you say, okay, we really know what it's going to take to do this. The next thing is to get all of our permits applied for, start any environmental studies that we may yet need to do based on the permitting agencies, develop our interconnect with PJM, which is the grid operator, get an application in, they start their feasibility study, they do a system impact study, and someday they say, you guys are good to plug into the substation. And then the fourth thing, which is actually kind of the most fun, is to develop a construction methodology. That's everything from assembling the turbine at the port, to getting it out to the site, to putting it up, to how you're going to service this. And this is really where we have the greatest skills in the region. We have people who know how to work on the water, who know how to do construction, who know how to put up wind turbines, and we will marry that and come up with ways that really benefit what we can do in the lakes. So it's a lot of great stuff. I'm really proud to be able to stand up here and say this, and I'm going to turn it over to Ron.
What a holiday present, huh? Well, thanks, Lori, so much. I couldn't be more happy than to be here today. This announcement is validation of all of our shared conviction that Northeast Ohio has the resources and the potential to be at the heart of the North American offshore wind industry. And if ever there was a partnership, this was one. I'm proud the Foundation was an early adopter of this view, which quite frankly exposed us to a little bit of ridicule and naysayers, but that's okay. I'm told that for a while my nickname in town was Ron Quixote, which was my wife and kids thought was funny. But we persisted with the vision of Lake Erie as the site of the nation's first freshwater wind farm. The Foundation was a major funder of the work of LEEDCo's predecessor, the Great Lakes Energy Development Task Force. Of course, I want to give Bill Mason and Steve incredible credit that they deserve. Bill chaired the task force. Bill and Steve helped launch us down this path and have continued to champion the viability of the wind industry ever since. Again, I want to thank all the public officials, all the counties that participated in this bipartisan effort. When the task force spun off of LEEDCo, the Foundation was among the founding members. To date, we've granted $1.25 million to LEEDCo. We're very proud to say. Separately, and we're going to vote this next Tuesday on an additional grant. Separately, we've invested in the Great Lakes Energy Institute at Case Western Reserve University, which we're very proud of. That institute has identified offshore wind as a key aspect of its research agenda. And of course, we've supported Nortec's commendable work under Rebecca's great leadership to drive growth across all advanced energy sectors. Excuse me. We've also provided funding for WireNet to launch the Great Lakes Wind Network. Excuse me, to help local manufacturers enter the wind business. Before today, there was reason to doubt any of these efforts over the last 6 years might bear fruit. I'm not choking up because I'm so emotional, I just went down the wrong pipe. But the partners kept plugging away because we saw the opportunity in seizing first mover advantage. Thank you so much. And we're better than here. We have world-class industrial and academic expertise in materials, science, and engineering. Our heritage of fabricating, machining, and assembling heavy industrial equipment is a major strength of this region. Our central location on the lake and near a vast transportation network gives us logistical advantages. These assets position us clearly to efficiently serve offshore wind markets in the Great Lakes in the future. We talk a great deal in Cleveland about retaining the businesses we have here and attracting new ones, and that is vital. But that strategy alone won't cut it. As I've been saying for many years, we need to develop entirely new industries in Northeast Ohio, and offshore wind needs to be one of them. It takes a leap of imagination to see that wind farm on the lake, but today I think we really can look with confidence towards a future when that imagination won't be needed. And I absolutely believe in the near future I will be able to bring my kids here and look out and see those turbines spinning. I want to conclude my remarks by particularly singling out Richard Stubbe and now Shilpa Gadar, the people at the foundation that really did the heavy lifting. I'm a dreamer, but they're the ones who got the work done. And I want to thank my board for having the courage to support us in what seemed at first like a pretty wacky venture. But again, thanks to everyone in this room that's been such a part of making this happen.
I'm Rebecca Bagley, the CEO of Nortech, and it's been our pleasure to really be very involved in this project since inception, really, and it's been taking a lot of vision, as people have talked about, to get where we are today. And obviously this $4 million from DOE works as a great catalyst to continue the hard work that everybody's been doing, and I think the even harder work starts after today again, so that's very exciting. So, in the U.S. there's no offshore wind turbines installed, but it's a $200 billion industry internationally. And so we really need to take advantage of that opportunity. We have fast-growing energy needs. DOE says that this wind industry in general can be 30% of the generation in energy by 2030, which is an exciting opportunity to be able to diversify that energy portfolio. This project, Icebreaker, which will be approximately 25 megawatts, really serves as a catalyst for that industry development. So the idea is not just to be able to look out and have those wind turbines, which will be a wonderful, iconic symbol of the transition of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio, not only because of the nature of the advanced energy and alternative energy, but also it's based on the industries, as Ron talked about. It really will benefit our metals manufacturing and our electrical manufacturing and other areas of manufacturing. And so it's really, while it's been a visionary project, it really moves off the base of what has made Northeast Ohio strong over the course of history. And so that's why I'm really excited about this particular project and moving that forward. The other thing is the jobs. I mean, if we do this right, which we intend to, the first project on Icebreaker will create 500 jobs, of which 10% will be permanent. Things like on the permanent side of things, it's things like maintenance and planning administration. But then the vision is those 8,000 jobs, that can come by 2030. Over the next 20 years, when we have 5,000 megawatts, deployed into the Great Lakes. So we're really excited to be a part of this. It's our role in the region to really develop clusters and emerging clusters, things that people see as potential opportunities that are not realized, both in advanced energy, flexible electronics, water technologies. So we're excited to be a part of this because we see an emerging cluster that could create lots of economic impact for Northeast Ohio. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff Dirk. I'm the Dean of the Case School of Engineering, and I'm proud to be part of the team representing Case West Reserve here today in celebrating the Icebreaker project and how proud we are to be associated with that. So I want to congratulate both LEEDCo as well as really the entire region for the success in this project. When I think back to Case West Reserve University's involvement in this, it goes all the way back to 2007. And I think the timeline is really important here and that we now have, for example, 5 years of wind data about the Great Lakes that we didn't have before. And if we're going to go forward successfully, have a wind farm, we need to understand what it is that's going to be driving that wind farm and generating that electricity. And the data that we've collected now through the support of not only the Cleveland Foundation originally to help us start up our Great Lakes Energy Institute, but also others like the Third Frontier, who in 2009 provided the funding for the Wind Energy Research Center that provided us 3 wind turbines that we've located on our campus in nearshore, to also begin doing things like testing the coatings that we'll use to prevent ice accumulation on those wind turbines as they sit out in the Great Lakes. And so you can appreciate, I think, all of you, just the leveraging that goes on here, the expertise that Ron talked about. We have the infrastructure in terms of transportation and industry, but we also have that expertise within our academic institutions and the industry academic partnerships to make sure that this program is successful. When I look at our own Great Lakes Energy Institute that began a few years ago, interdisciplinary collaboration really sits at the heart of that. And our own program involves 6 of our 7 departments within the School of Engineering: material science, electrical engineering and computer science, macromolecular science, civil engineering and mechanical engineering. And some of these involvements are obvious: mechanical engineering and the wind turbines themselves. But the civil engineering department is one you might not think about as being particularly relevant, but for this proposal is critical, and we need to understand the soil in which the foundation of these structures will sit, for example, and that soil analysis part of what we will be contributing to this project going forward. We also need to understand the durability of materials. We're going to be putting these turbines up, and they need to last for 20 years or more, and we have a unique environment here in which they're going to exist. And so we're proud of the contributions of our material science department, civil engineering departments, and the entire Great Lakes Energy Institute that, again, leverages on some of the funding that was originally provided by the Cleveland Foundation and others. So we're very excited to be a part of this, and I think it represents a unique opportunity for us at the university to work not only with the governmental and economic development activities, but also with our industry partners to making sure that our mission in terms of research, education, and service produces that highly qualified workforce that fills those jobs that Rebecca talked about a second ago, because that essentially is one of the products that we bring to the region. Not just the faculty research that we hear about, for example, in the press, but also that highly qualified workforce that graduates every year, hundreds of students that come and fill the jobs here in the region. So thanks for allowing Case Western Reserve to be a part of this, and we're proud of our contributions to the program going forward.
I did forget to say is that at the end of this grant, we will have a 12-month performance period once we sign the contract with the Department of Energy. And at the end of that 12 months, we then compete with the other 6 projects for 1 slot out of 3. So there'll be 3 projects that the Department of Energy will fund. And so while this next year is going to be about as fun as you can imagine, it's also going to be keeping our eye on the ball, which is to win the down select and then build this project. And so once again, we'll be relying on our team, and this is where the experienced people who know what to do will be invaluable to us going forward. So with that, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments, but this has been a great experience, and I thank you all very much.